Hello and welcome, listeners, to another episode of Tactical Awareness. It's Season 3, Episode 17. We're doing Zeros to Heroes, JSA. It's the Shindenbutai, the new Sectorial, chock full of cool heavy infantry. It's like the Samurai and Royal Guards Bushi list with some fine new profiles. So if you haven't listened to this before, we will make lists, share our favorite profiles, why we included them, and then round up anything we didn't cover at the end. So let's dive in, see how Owen and Dan are doing, and get this underway. New factions. This is the differentest faction. Hey everybody, welcome to Zeros to Heroes. We're back with Shindenbutai. This is our most recent JSA or latest JSA episode here, where we are talking about I guess this is like the samurai army compared to the ninja army inside the JSA, led by sort of the officers and the court royals of the Japanese secessionist army. I'm joined today by Owen and Dan, and if you haven't listened to one of these before, this is where we all make an army list. We go through the various factions in Infinity N5. Talk about our favorite units, how we put our list together, and then go through any sort of things that we skipped or kind of overlooked at the end. This is the newest faction in Infinity, isn't it?
Yeah, along with Kestrel.
Yeah, along with Kestrel, that's right. So,
Yep.
because this was broken off from N2A, where the parent army we just did Oban, they had to kind of make a spot for all these new profiles without overpowering like one list. And now there's enough units that they kind of have their own flavor and their own difference. There's a little bit of share over here, though, isn't there? The Tokusatsu, so the Doctor Engineer is the same in between the two.
Look, I'm going to give you a hint. Notice that there are no blue and red.
Yeah, there aren't too. Yeah, the ninjas and Saito are also
just
both in here.
all those shitter blue and reds didn't show up.
All the
here.
reinforcements didn't show up here.
Yeah.
None of the
These guys get all new and all good, unlike those other guys.
But they do share with the previous faction, Saito and ninjas.
We kept our crappy ninjas here.
Yeah, both the Jimbos are in here. All the remotes. They get their own tags though, and they get an interesting tag which I used, which we'll talk about in a minute when we go through my list. They get the tag rider, so the support pilot, and I think that's it. I think that's all the things that get shared. Other than that, it's all new profiles. So who wants to go first on this one?
I'll go first.
Dan, you hero. All right, go first.
What's funny is I'm like, I don't even know if I have any fire teams. It's just like, I like this profile. I like this profile. Let's continue. So I brought Mitsuke as a lieutenant level 1 lieutenant with Strategos level 1.
Oh. Okay. Sorry, Dan, you messed up.
He didn't mess up. He did his own thing. He did his own thing. You're immediately disappointed in him. I'm happy he did a different thing from either of us. So we've done
I'm a unique
things here.
Special snowflake.
Don't be mean to Dan. He did a third option that just wasn't a good one. That's all. So,
Look.
There we go.
Look, if we're gonna let me be me, we gotta let Owen.
You know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. So this is your this guy's interesting. He's got a +1 burst BS attack, counterintelligence, immunity shock, martial arts 2, courage, surprise attack -3, stealth, and a hollow projector. So he's neat because he hides in 3 places, right? All within zone of control of each other.
Yeah, I mean, he's got counterintelligence, which is always nice. And I don't know. I like Strategos. It makes me have to think less, and I don't have to protect my NCOs.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Moving
Other
on.
people need protection from your NCOs.
Look. This is a mess because everything was so new, and I've never seen anything before. And it was really confusing.
You've been playing against these guys. Anyway.
You're fine.
Anyway.
Right. Talk about Raidens.
Okay, I brought the 2 Raidens. There's one Raiden that costs 2 Swick. It's quite expensive, but they are hidden deployment, X-Visor, Min-3, Mine Layer, surprise attack, and then they either have a heavy rocket launcher or a missile launcher. And they're BS-13.
They can also overlapping fire because you took both profiles, so they can kind of overlap each other's bad range bands. Right, because the missile launcher is only good outside 24, so you have to deploy him back a little bit, whereas the heavy rockets get outside 16, so you can be a bit closer.
but they're also armor 3. And so it's not a given that you kill them if you hit them. Because they're going to be in cover somewhere.
Yep.
And so it's really a decent chance if it's a little gun that hits them. So, yeah, but also they're probably going to be shooting at somebody that's walking out of cover with a fun and hidden deployment thing.
They trade the Noctifier's min-6 for surprise attack, right? So if you active turn, they're not as good in the reactive, but they're good in the active turn where you can pick a target and then show up and blow them away.
Isn't Noctifier like BS11?
He's like
Or
12. Yeah, I think you have a higher BS too. And obviously better armor.
And an X visor.
Yep.
Min 3 instead of 6. That's the big, and Mind Layer.
Yeah,
Mind Layer's huge.
Mind Layer is huge with shock mines. Yep.
All that stuff. I don't know. They were brought against me and it pissed me off, and so I'm going to piss other people off. I was like, what the heck is this?
Perfect.
I brought Tanuki.
Let's talk about these guys, because these guys are a fire team. You only took one, though.
I brought 2.
Oh, you did. You took the chain of command one, too. Yep. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. So I brought the chain of command because, I don't know. Why not? It's 18-point chain of command. It's pretty good. But also it can duo with, or no, can they duo? They need a core?
No, you can duo a core. You can do a duo a core, and the Yamabushi FTO that you got will go with them.
Yeah, so I got an MSV2 multi-sniper rifle. He's got Warhorse, which is great against a lot of things. For when you need it, like those stupid BS attack -3 boys. Pick them off. But the dodge +3 is kind of nice of like when you need to dodge when something's really bad, maybe they survive. And 27 points for MSV2 multi-sniper.
2 more points, you get a heavy machine gun with MSV2.
Yeah. I like sniper rifles.
That's fair. You used to already have those long range guns in the heavy rocket and the missile launcher, so
that's why they'll never suspect them.
That's right. That sniper rifle was covering everything, and then out of nowhere.
Look, if I'm not allowed to play mind games in other miniature games, I'm going to use all the mind games I can in this miniature game.
Yeah, you're fair.
Well, I'm going to attempt to and fail miserably, but I'm still going to try as much as I can. And I think the Yamabushi also links with them.
He is a wild card. Oh no, he's not. That's Yoda. He is just an FTO. Yeah, he links. He's just
yeah, he has the same keyword as
he's got the same keyword. Yes, he becomes a full 3-man.
Yeah, so just doesn't there, but also paramedic just to maybe bring the sniper back up. But also just, specialist. Who knows? I got a Ludwan, because why not? Ludwans are fun. I don't know if they deserve to be in this list, but let's make more uncertainty with more holo projectors. We already got one holo projector. We got 2 hidden deployments.
Yeah.
We got 2
first 4 Mark 12, which is great.
Yeah, I think it's a solid profile.
Yeah. And
because of all the other miasma of this list, I think it kind of just fits in there. Talking about more miasma, Kyojin Killer, heavy floor, Flam and Spear.
Let's talk about this guy.
You get 2 of them. They are irregular, but they're only 15 or 18 points. For the 15 point, you get the heavy flamethrower, Flam and Spear. The 18 points, you get light flamethrower and contender.
Basically, the Beast Hunter profile of the Yu Ching one. They're
Kinda.
really close to it.
Kinda. It's a Panzerfaust and a Flam and Spear.
Yeah, and it's a DA instead of an explosive close combat weapon.
You do get DA close combat weapon, which can be useful.
And plus
you are super jump.
Yep.
You're 4 deployment +8, min 3, so you can pretend to be a mine. But there's all these other Raidens hanging out. Who knows what's a mine, what's not? I guess they're 4 deployment +8, but you could pull back. Nobody knows. Nobody knows this faction yet. I think they're pretty cool.
I love them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Owen took 2, didn't he?
You bet.
They are only camo 1 use, but that's enough.
If they're alive at the end of their order spree, then you've done something wrong. Like, these guys live to die.
Speed bumps.
Yep.
Definitely. Motorized Yojimbo, we talked about him. He's great by himself. Beautifulness.
Burst 3 contenders, no joke.
We got another Ludwan in the other groups. All of the holo projectors. And then another Kyojin Killer. And then I brought Yamabushi.
Another one,
This is the fight one, not the paramedic one.
paramedic.
Oh, and yeah. So this is what did I? Yeah, yeah. So this was just chain rifle. This is the camo one. So just another camo token on the board. That also might be able to do something. And with dogged, depending on what they're fighting with, you can be stuck in.
He can break boxes and mind wipe with his DA. He's got a chain rifle. He can drop shock mines. He's got a Panzerfaust. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Dogged
And then
Panzerfaust.
about a Rushi. I bought the one with the MSV one.
But it's got a mine dispenser because Dan's got PTSD.
Yeah, a little bit. But I figure with all my long range weaponry, with mine dispenser, if it's like not as good of an exchange as I want it to be, you just put mine dispenser down, and then you're like, I shoot you with my sniper rifle or rocket launcher or missile launcher.
You shoot around corners, baby.
I got to make some decisions. And if you're hiding around a corner because you're afraid of those missile launchers and you're kind of huddled, then that,
And they still get the +3, I believe.
Mine dispenser just seems really, really good.
Yes, because I murdered you with one. And you're never going to forget.
I screwed this up. I think the Rushi was supposed to be in with some other things because it can link. And so it can get the linked bonus.
Sure. I mean, you're still, the nice thing with that is you're doing the mine dispenser on 15s. Right? Because it's BS12 and it's +3 for range usually.
Yeah.
So you put them in a fire team, you're getting that bonus dice, and then you're reloading off your pang line.
Yeah. So I mean, it's pretty simple. I don't know. I'm really confused even now looking at my own list. That
it looks good. No, it looks good. The thing that you did is you leaned on the profiles from Yucheng that you knew, and then added in like a small mix of the stuff from Shindenbutai. So like I think what you'll see with Owen in my list is we use a lot of the newer profiles. But yours is much more of a U list where like you have the Kyojin Killers, who are basically the beast hunters. They're familiar looking profile. Rishis, you've used them before. Panglines, you've used them before. Like Yojimbo's a motorized bounty hunter. Like you can kind of see what this stuff does up front pretty easily.
All right. Moving on.
I like it. Owen, it's your turn.
So Dan,
What?
the Hatamoto is in this faction, and therefore you bring it. Have you ever thought your Shikami needed a better gun? Bring a Hatamoto.
They tell you. And how about not needing cover ever?
And what if he was also just capable of beating the Shikami to death? Because he does that too.
Hands.
And was still a specialist and had links that were dirt cheap and was also NCO.
And gave you
I like how it's got a
SWC.
monofilament and EMCC weapon.
Yeah.
How about the two most dangerous swords in the game?
Everything.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep. And then they gave him a plasma gun if you wanted.
Yep.
This guy is like competes to be one of the best individual models in the game for cost. Like
terrifying.
He is able to beat most things in melee. He can beat many things at range.
Of course, you brought two of them.
And I brought two. Yeah. One is my lieutenant with +1 order, and the other one is an NCO in a link of Senkus.
They're best friends.
And so one of them sits on the far left of the board, and one of them with his two Senkus sit on the far right of the board. And I can use lieutenant orders on either of them, and they're going to come up left and right with Spitfires and just kill everything.
Well, the Spitfire is really just to keep your head down and maybe wound you until he gets close enough to break your legs with his bare hands. Did we mention he's also a specialist?
Oh yeah, they're doing everything.
He can do.
They're just going to go do everything.
Every single job. He's a headquarter troop, so he can push. He can like push buttons.
He has a visor because he has the X visor. He's a fighter. The only thing that he can't do is break boxes. That is his big weakness, but it doesn't matter because he's just going to kill everything in his way.
The two Kyojin killers who are next.
And so then he has a Senku forward observer and a Senku paramedic, mostly there so that they can pick up the Vita packs to put this guy back together again. Sometimes you could also bring the Mechazoid pilot. I brought him mostly because he was orders and also because he's a linkable specialist with these guys. Yep. But yeah, then next I have two Kyojin killer hackers.
Killers, just not
Kyojin killers, rather.
Yeah, just the guy we're talking about last with Dan.
Yep. Irregular flamethrower flamage spears. They forward deploy and they have camo and extra burst on the weapon that they need to break boxes. And that's why they're there. Because they have +1 burst CC attack with CC 21. So they don't mess it up and they hit the box twice, maybe more if they crit. And then I also brought 2 Raidens, and I only brought rockets on mine with the mine layer, but now, and in group 2, I'll just skip ahead a little bit. I also brought 2 Yamabushis with Panzerfausts. And so I'm going to put down 6 Mim 3 camo markers. 2 are mines, 2 are panzers, 2 are flamage bears, and 2 are 2 guys that are near but not at those mines. Hope you guess the right ones.
Surprise.
Yeah, and then I brought Yuriko by herself as just the forward deploy. One, because I wanted that emitter.
Yep. It's a sneak up emitter because you could use her as a holdback piece to sneak forward. And
yeah, she is not she's like the turn 3. Like the Hatamotos are dead now. The Tanuki chain of command is in charge. Yuriko, it's up to you to go do the thing, because she is a specialist engineer with the charges and she can fight.
Yeah, she's my lane too, so there's more token sound from her.
Yep. And then group 2, I've got, like I said, 2 Yamabushis. I have a Pangalang Evo hacker, because while my Hatamotos have stealth, there is the opponent's turn where I'm only BTS 6. So we should buff them up more and make them BTS 9 and -3 to hack as well. And it can reload some of the Panzerfaust and Flamage Beers and Drop Bears and Mines that we're releasing from this list.
Panzerfausts.
And also turrets, because the last guy is a little monstrucker with an AP rifle turret.
Hey.
He's dirt cheap. And the turret, if I can trade in a regular order for a regular order on my opponent shooting that turret, I'll take that deal.
This list is called Hatabro.
Yeah. It's Hotobro.
Hotobro, sorry. Hotobro.
They're Hatamoto.
Yeah. Hotobro.
Yeah. And it's like, there's no trick here other than it's a bunch of camo markers and 2 guys. And those 2 guys with their peasant militia are going to go beat you to death.
Yep.
Like if you wanted to do it, like these were the samurai to the other group's ninjas, these are the 2 samurai and a bunch of retainers. And everybody's around here just to make sure that the 2 samurai get to do the cool thing. And everyone else is just to slow you down so that the Hatamotos get an active turn. And on my active turn, I'm going to spend 10 orders and kill. And then he's going to die. And then the other one's going to spend 10 orders and kill. Then he's going to die. And then the Tanuki will take over and Yuriko will win me the game.
Just by yourself, single-handedly. Why not? All right.
I mean, at that point, the other 2 will have done their job.
They've done what they need to do. Okay, so on to me. Now, Dan, I want you to take notes, because my list is slightly different from Owen's, but is the second correct way of doing this. My way is you take the Metsuki with the +1 order, and then you take the Hatamoto NCO with the plasma carbine.
Yeah.
And then you feed, you can take really any flavor you want. I wanted a plasma carbine because I just wanted to have plasma. And you feed the orders into the Hatamoto. And this gives you additional ways to have orders. Now that Hatamoto can hang out. He's not hanging out with he's hanging out in a fire team with 2 Shizoku FTOs, who I love. These things are bananas, and they're a full Harris. The Shizokus are the size 2, but they're arm 5 BTS 6, 2 wounds, martial arts 3, frenzy, shock immune, dodge 2 inches, courage, berserk, min -3 stealth. They have APDA close combat weapons with PS4, and I did the heavy rocket launcher +1 burst ones.
You couldn't squeeze 5 points.
Forget the strategic deployment. No, I couldn't. There's maybe if I trade my flashbot for a war core, I could do it. But I love everything in this list. I probably wouldn't. And these guys are they're like hilarious. you could switch this around a little bit to get the strategic deployment, but you have a burst 4 effectively heavy rocket launcher, 3+ special dice.
Yep.
Which is bananas. They fight so good up close. Your plasma carbine is going to get the plus dice, right? So you're getting a template on literally everybody. And those Shizokus are so hard to kill with arm 5 BTS 6, and they've been -3 which is so weird. Like, I don't know why they have been -3. They can, once they kill something, obviously, like they're gonna frenzy and lose their cover, but the mimetism sort of makes up for it. And with all of those dice and all of those templates, you do not want to get hit by these guys.
Well, I guess we didn't mention that the Hatamoto, who also frenzies, has no downside from frenzy. It's just more orders for him.
No, it just gives him extra orders because he's got a nano screen.
Yep.
Between his nano screen, it just doesn't do anything. It just gives him an extra order that he can't use in this fire team. But
and he has combat instinct. I don't know how I forgot about that.
Sure does combat instinct as well.
No surprise for him.
And all three of these guys, if they go into melee with you, are the most, like, the Hatamoto backed up by 2 Shizokus in melee is the most insane bunch of punching. Like, none of them will die if you decide to hit one of the guys not fighting you, and the Hatamoto's going to have 4 dice to try and hit you with the weapon of his choice. It is hilarious. Go on.
It's weird to, like, the top, because plasma carbon is only burst 2.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it is plasma.
It is plasma. And really, he's there to break legs. Right? It's the burst. Most times that rocket launcher is going to do just fine. It's for when you get slightly up close. We'll switch to plasma carbine. I could have done something else. I just liked it because it was cheap. It's going to have all those orders from the Mitsuke. That lieutenant's going to stand in 3 places with extra orders. Give me
how many wounds and how hard those guys are to kill? That's pretty good for like 100 points.
It's 100 points flat, right? It's 100 points flat for those 3 guys, and they will walk around the table just. And when we get real close, the Shizokus have assault pistols if they want to go just bananas amounts of dice. So then we got 2 tensions. These guys can also, I believe, become a duo. No, they can't. The tensions are combat jumpers. Oh, that's why I took my combat jumpers to come in the sides. You don't really need the orders in this group in the beginning because between the lieutenant orders and the native orders just on the Mitsuke and the Hatamoto, you've got 6 orders to go around for that fire team to go and do stuff, which is typically more than enough. I've got a tension killer hacker who is just a great 21 point. They got super jump, jet propulsion, martial arts, parachutist, stealth, combat jump, dodge, and courage. They can show up kind of wherever they want. And then the forward observer to do the other half of the like button pushing or classifieds. And then I took him because I can. I took the trip hammer, Owen, our favorite, the booty tag. He's only 48 points, heavy shotgun, heavy rocket launcher, plasma, Panzerfaust +1 burst for 48 points, BS 13, Arm 7, BTS 3, CC attack, anti-material, dodge, gizmo kit, tack aware, transmutation. He goes to Arm 4, BTS 0 when he takes 2 wounds, but he has booty. Who cares? He's just cheap and fun, and I want to use him because I have the new miniature, and he's just cool as hell. He's not in here for any other reason. He's just here to go do stuff. And
so is this like the only AP attack in the game that can kill boxes?
I think so, yeah.
AP attack?
APCC attack. Because it's not unless it's APDA. Yeah.
Well, there's a bunch of AP explosive.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean just the regular APCC.
Oh, I see. Probably.
Like no one else has CC.
Probably because
I didn't realize he had that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he has that big hammer.
He does. In my group too, I've got the Garan A-bot with the smoke grenade launcher and the Thunderbolts. I've got a Flashbot. I got Suda Togan with his T2 boarding shotgun. And then I got 2 Yamabushi paramedics just hanging out. And they're duo, just they can move around quickly if they want. And that's it. And I think with the exception of...
I think it's wild that you're going to start of turn 1 have 9 orders.
I know. Yeah. Yeah, I am. I mean, 9, 10, 11 with the NCOs, 12 with the attack aware. That's fine.
Yep. Then someone strips his orders on the 7.
Well, no, he only loses 1. He has counter.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. And they would know. So
yeah,
that's right. So let's take a look at what we didn't use. We didn't take Ada Swanson. None of us did. Probably because there's so many deployables already around, you know what I mean, and things that are count markers. An FTO mine layer with decoy, she's cool, 24 points. Like there's just other things in the same price bracket that kind of do that stuff.
I think I've just the nerf the submachine guns, like not getting AP on anymore.
Yeah.
Just like it just removes so much utility from them.
Yeah, her big problem is she's not a specialist. If she was still a specialist, or she was a specialist, she can do named stuff. You know what I mean? Like she has long service for certain classifieds, but like, yeah, just
Well,
not being a specialist is just a
she's just
bummer.
outclassed. Everything
Yeah.
in this faction outclasses things. Like, oh, you could bring Ada Swanson, but for 1 point, you could bring a Raiden,
You sure could.
and he's better than her in every way. Like better BS, hidden instead of just standing there. Like still has mimetism. He's a better shot. He has a better gun and an X visor. It's a 1 point difference.
Yeah. Just other
Yeah.
people do that sneaky job. None of us took the Jazamurai, the Henry Odins. These are the cheap climbing plus, combat instinct, courage, dodge +3, dodge +2 inches, martial arts 3, min -3 stealth. They're almost like ultra light heavy infantry. They don't have any kind of range guns except for a single thunderbolt. They're all emitters, thunderbolts, and then light shotguns. There's one with a submachine gun, so they're all in the 20-point range. They're really cheap, and they can all fire team in the Bushi Tai fire teams, right? So
what do they do?
They give the Hatamoto duo
that's
bonus.
They give the Hatamoto they're a cheap duo bonus for Hatamoto.
You pass butter. Like that's what they do.
If I wasn't using the Shizoku, the super heavy guys, this would be what would be feeding him orders and making him bonused.
Yeah.
Like what you would do is if like you could trade the Yamabushis and Saito for another one of those Hatamotos and then two of these guys, right? Like and have another brick basically wandering around.
Originally, I had them with my Hatamotos in the list that I made.
I could keep one. I could get rid of Saito and one of them. I could have exactly that actually.
But then getting rid of them and turning them into two Senkus still gave me the bonus on one guy and gave me the extra dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they're just like you said, they pass butter.
You make the Hatamoto better. And if you're doing that, you're good.
You've
Mission
done your
accomplished.
job. Mission accomplished. Yep. Exactly.
Question. With Hollow Mask, or Hollow Projector rather, if you go into suppression, it would break it, or if you've already broken it. At the end of the turn of the states phase, when you generate, do you generate two more dudes, all in suppression?
Yep.
Quote unquote.
Yep.
That seems good. Okay. Carry on.
What's funnier is that if you were standing near the corner of a building, you could hollow echo the two echoes off around the corner of the building on suppression into line of fire. And it could be the real guy. And there's no way I wrote against that. And that's
Yep. I don't have to dodge. Sweet.
None of us took, and Owen and I had an offline talk about this profile. Shuriyuki Ona Kuroshiya. This is another named character. Hollow Mask X Visor, BS Attack Shock, Dodge +2 inches. She's got Arm 2 BTS 3, 1 Vita, but she's got no wounding cap. And then Religious Stealth. She had a multi-rifle nanopulsar. She's not a specialist. 30 points and a viral close combat weapon with martial arts 4. So she's kind of an aggressive kill you piece that can do some of the like stamp your feet classifieds. She needs to be killing. Owen's like, I think this has some stuff. I'm like, for 4 more points, I get a Hatamoto with a plasma carbine. Who is a specialist?
Oh yeah, she's not nothing. It's just like you said. Like the coolest thing is that you have Hollow Mask, but then the question is like, what do you turn into?
Yeah.
Do you upgrade or downgrade?
Yeah. Do you make yourself scary or do you make yourself just like someone they're going to avoid?
The only thing I would do is turn into a third Hatamoto.
Just freak people out.
And be like, somebody is Shuriyuki, but where is that threat coming from?
Yeah.
Wait, who are we talking about?
Shuriyuki. Medium infantry. The third choice. Right after
I had a hard time
Raidens.
finding it too. It's right after Raiden's. Shuriyuki. It's just one word. There's nothing after it.
Oh, I was looking under skills for Hollow Mask, but it's under equipment. There we go.
Yeah. Like, she's pretty good at fighting. Yeah, this is like a person, which is weird. Like, why
You're a veteran troop, not a character.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe a one though. So
I mean, veteran troop does everything that those veteran ones call for, so it's the same thing. I like Tanukis. I think Dan's right. I think they're solid.
I think they're solid too. I just don't see a super huge place for this name character. The
Was it-
Kuriyami Ninjas.
Oh yeah, all the ninjas. All the ninjas.
All the ninjas. We didn't use the Kyojin. Well, sorry, we took Kyojin Killers. We talked about ninjas last episode. They're just the same ninjas as before. But we didn't take the Nokizaru units or the Kuriyami Ninjas or Saito. None of us. Oh no, I took Saito, didn't I?
Yep.
Yeah, but the Kuriyami Ninjas didn't get taken. These guys are Bang Bomb +4, Courage, Dodge +1 inch, Hidden Deployment, Infiltration, Martial Arts 2, Min -3, Stealth, Super Jump, Surprise Attack, and Terrain Total. They got DA Close Combat Weapons at PS6. But they have a specialist profile with a hacker and a mine layer with a viral mine. They've all got viral mines, SMGs, lead shotguns, decharges on the hacker. What do you think about this guy?
I mean,
They're AV2.
Super jump.
I think they're better than the ninjas. I would rather have a Kuriyami ninja than a regular ninja. They just do the same job.
The specialist
men.
got 26 points though.
Yeah, sure. But like,
Yeah,
viral
he's
mine
1
specialist?
point more than the killer hacker ninja, but gets a viral mine and decharges.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, you're right.
And
And
bang
he has a
bomb.
shotgun instead of a tack bow.
Dodges on
He's
a
like
17.
hilariously better.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's very true.
Yeah. And he loses 1 armor, but gains BTS for his hacking device, and he gains a fizz.
Yep.
I mean,
And
what's the
Bang
difference between
Bomb
number
does
0 and
four.
number 1? No.
And super jump. The ninjas don't have super jump.
Super jump is super awesome.
Super
again,
jump is
like,
super option.
This is this faction. Take everything from before. And like, it's the exact same thing when we talked about Kestrel.
Yeah.
You're just better. Like, whatever
you're
your
a tweaked
equivalent
version
was,
of the old one. Yeah.
you're the old one, but a little bit better than before. We did skip the tag, but we'll come back to that.
We'll come back to it. I'm just looking at the
Um,
man sizes for now.
Yeah, the Kuriyami ninja is amazing. And like, the only thing for me is that just build Hatamotos. Hatamotos fight everyone. There's
Well,
nothing that stops
that's the
Hatamoto.
thing is that this is the weird thing about these profiles is you would need to make a faction that isn't a gunfighting faction, and this faction weirdly is like a aggro melee and gunfighting faction, like an up close gunfighting faction. So this just, it's not that it's a bad unit, it's just like this the use for its point value isn't, I think, as high as
I think you could turn this entirely on its head and play it like Assassins.
You could,
where
for sure.
you take the power that Assassins have with the Boktar and the Asawira and those guys, which is the equivalent of the Shizokus and the Hatamotos. And then you just go, actually, never mind. And you're just Kyojins, Karamis, Yamabushis, Nokizarus, Saito. And all of a sudden, now you've just taken Oban's lunch and you have the Metsuke Stratego. So you have a hard to kill counterintelligence
let's talk about
guy.
the
And
Nokizaru, because he's an AVA2 gunfighter with MSV1, right?
Yep.
-3, climbing plus. He's kind of like an armorless version of the Varg. Right, with climbing, is it the Varg that's climbing plus, or is it the super jump one?
The Varg's the super jump with Albedo. The Kaoru is
the Kaoru. He's the Kaoru. Yeah. But these guys are also 4 deployment +8. They're decent melee weapons, but they're only shot close combat weapons. But they have some that have D charges, so they can martial arts 3 a D charge, which is really funny. And they have MSV. So like they're this weird, and they have a killer hacker profile, a forward observer hacker, and a multi marksman rifle. So this weird climbing gunfighter for 20-ish, 25 to 30 points. That's in that same kind of like category where it's like, well, but I have a Hatamoto. Why would I take something else? And then we have the Yamabushi, which is, we took the FTO ones and the camouflage ones, but they're like a weird cross between the Jizu Samurai and then also the that like Beast Hunter product, the Kyojin Killer. Right, where they do that's kind of same thing. So you're right, they have these kind of like war bandy dudes, but then they also have this like weird.
You want to talk about how much the Yamabushi eats the Foxtrot's lunch?
Oh, I know. For 18 points. Oh my god.
Like,
yeah, let's not even go there. For 3 points left, that Yamabushi absolutely dumpsters the poor Foxtrot. I guess do they all infiltrate? None of them. Or they forward deploy. But the paramedic.
Okay, there you go. Never mind.
Yeah,
forward deploy. It's not nearly as good.
Yeah.
They went down in price and got chain rifles and mimetism 3 and shock immune dogged.
They're just not
dodge plus 2. And their movement 6-2, and they're also good in CC. And
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying they don't start, if they're button pushers, they don't start in camo next to the button. All right.
If only
So
we had something else that could do
that could
that.
do that. Exactly. We do. The last unit is the Mechazoid Soko Rentai. This is the size 6 tag this faction gets.
I love this guy. Multi Spitfire is a crazy gun.
I think he's really cool because
Holy crap.
Yeah, he has an AB heavy machine gun. I don't think you ever take it. I think you take the 69.1, which is Pulsar Panzerfaust multi Spitfire. That means a Spitfire that can shoot every type of ammo. It's got an explosive close combat with PS4. He's martial arts 2, religious, stealth, tac aware. The fact that he's got stealth now, which I don't think he had in N4.
He didn't exist in N4. He's new.
Didn't he get a profile back
No.
then? No, I think he got a profile. No, he got a, really?
No.
Oh, okay, I thought right at the end he got one.
Nope.
Anyway, for his point value, once again, this guy makes some other size sixes kind of sad.
Look at that
combat instinct. He's got climbing plus, but martial arts 2, religious, stealth, and tac aware for 69 points. He does a ton of jobs, and the model's really cool. And he's AVA 2, and you can fire team him.
Oyoroi versus this guy. Oyoroi is 10 points more for a multi HMG.
Yep. And the koalas are not to be, and koala mine layer is not to be under.
He gets the koalas and a BS.
Yep. This
guy loses an armor and a BS. He gains combat instinct. He gains climbing plus.
Yep. He's small profile, so he can fit more places.
You get a weird dodge plus 3 inches.
He's shorter. Well, he's a move 5 on his dodge, which is pretty significant. And you do have a tag pilot, so you can dodge on 14s.
Dodge on 14s for 5 inches? That's pretty sexy.
Yeah.
Yep. He will certainly get around a corner to get out of the way.
I don't disagree. He's a great profile.
Yep.
And you can bring 2 of them.
His bot has climbing plus. And dodge plus 3 on his bot, which is fun. But yeah, you can duo them for the special dice Panzerfaust ARO or special dice multi-rifle or multi-Spitfire DA.
Yep.
Damage 5. I do think there's an argument for that HMG, if only because a damage 4 AP gun is pretty sweet.
Pretty nasty.
I think he's better than the Oyoroi. It was just like a brawler. Now,
but they're in different factions, right? So this is a whole other faction for they're
going to show up together in the next one.
They will, but just to say they will outclass each other in their middle faction, but I think the middle faction isn't necessarily as good as either of these two on their own anyway, which we'll talk about in a bit because I think we're done.
I don't know. It's to my point that I brought up at the very beginning of
the newer stuff eats the older stuff's lunch.
There is a power creep happening in real time. You can watch that Hatamoto outclass every heavy infantry in Oban.
And the
even
reason
the Shikami who tries.
I wouldn't call it a power creep. I would call it an addition where the newer units written into the edition are for the edition, and some of the older ones have mixes of skills and point values that are less edition optimized. If that makes sense, right? So older.
I don't know. I don't agree. This guy has nothing new. He just has a new combination of them in a way.
He's a brand new gun. Did not exist before.
Hatamoto's who we're talking about.
Sure.
Because the Hatamoto is the poster child of this faction. You automatically we literally started the conversation of, did you do Metsuke by himself or Metsuke plus did you do Hatamoto Lieutenant or did you do Metsuke Hatamoto?
Sure, yeah.
And that was the joke.
Models, yeah.
Right, but it's not all new models because there's one model who sits head and shoulders, and then every other model is also solid. I mean, it's good. I like having good models and factions come out that are solid. It's just it's very on its sleeve. That's how I feel about it.
I think that's the obvious power. I think we can make lists. I think we can make more varied lists with this than we have because there's a thing that's easy to use that's also good. I think there's still some powerful lists that we just haven't looked at in this one.
Right. But that's kind of my point is that pick whatever you want in this faction. Everything here is a +1 over something that existed before. And is that good? Yeah, I like having fun, powerful things, but
What does that mean
Why
for
is
building
it? Where'd
models?
the apples and potatoes go?
I
Right?
don't know, man.
What's the trade-off between what's the trade-off between the Kuriyami ninja and a regular ninja?
Great question.
Why would you ever bring a regular ninja? And like people
Because you
used to
want to
give
do
me a
all
hard
hidden
time about
deploys.
it because they'd be like, "Oh, well, the hidden deploy, the Kuriyami is a hidden deploy.
No, I
He's
mean, I'm
just
saying to do all hidden deploys. Like
oh
you
yeah,
take
I
it to
see
do
what
like
you're
a
saying.
theme, right? Or a skew, or to have like a whole army of something.
I really wanted Mim 6, and I was willing to give up super jump, viral mines, um,
Yes,
bang
all those
bombs,
things. All those
all
things.
these things because I just needed that extra 3 Mim. I don't know. Like,
It doesn't fit the way your brain works. I get it. We're back
no,
next.
you're wrong if you don't think I can find a million ways to make this obnoxious.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying is, but I'm not saying that's the thing. I'm saying that like, yes, I think it is true that those things are better to the edition than these older things. I
right.
don't think these older things are as outclassed because I think we just haven't taken lists that lean into taking more beyond the AVA of the things that are slightly better, right? Where we could do that and then we'd want to have these other profiles.
Right. I guess I don't know. Like a long time ago, we had conversations around this of like one of the cool things was it was never a case of bringing things down. It was just raising all the boats.
Yeah.
Like if you'll remember way back when
Well, and we're at the beginning of the editions, they haven't done that yet. We had one patch so far, right? And it just was like cleaning up all the errors for the most part.
sure, but like I remember mid editions and stuff where you'd end up with situations like when the my God, what's the drop? The Santiago's got chain colts.
Yep.
And then they got the drop upgrade, and that was not a thing that they had before. They were just the 360 bad version of a Hospitaller, and they went down in cost and all got template weapons, and that was their big buff. Now they're way far away from what they used to be because they've continued to iterate, and now all of a sudden there is no comparison between a Hospitaller and a Santiago. Whereas I look at this and it's like maybe it's like the beginning of when you first had these two knights that came out, and one knight was the good one.
Yeah.
And it's like you have these two things that have come out and they're in the same faction, which is to say ninjas and Kuriyami ninjas, and one of them is the good one. And it's like, did we not figure this out like a decade ago? Give him something else. Give him a different profile. You learned this years and years and years ago in another faction at another time. And then now we've gone back to we've got the good guys and the other ones.
Yeah.
And
well,
like,
the question is going to be, are those like, is that intentional? You know what I mean? To run down older models and older SKUs and get people to be off playing them, like it seems to be with US Ariadna.
Just nuke the faction
and Toka.
Just go big. Just get rid of it. Just kill them.
Kill them all.
Hey, Caledonia. I want to talk to you over here in this corner.
Danny boy, the pipes,
I don't know. That's my rant about this faction.
That's fair. Well, we can rant even more about the next one because they get to mix and match. So we'll see for that next week when we come back with a vanilla JSA, the JSA Prime, which is nothing like original flavor JSA from the before times. This is an all new mix of stuff and more of our favorite profiles in the blue and red. Which probably won't get taken, but we'll find that out next week. Bye, everybody.